and their impacts. Join Insight Library on K95.9 FM, an early evening, informative and interactive, thought-provoking and stimulating political talk show that digs deep into the political, social, economic, and developmental issues and unpack them for you with accurate, balanced, and credible analysis as well as reports from across the counties. It's Insight Library with your host, Morris Desmondwell, from Mondays to Fridays, 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. on KM95.9 FM. You dare not miss it.
It is another great day, and we are here again. Very sorry about yesterday. Today we can do better. It is with great pleasure we've come to talk about the issues that matter. And of course, you can beat the experience with Kia Radio 95.9 from Kia House here on the UN Drive. We are grateful to come to you again with another great presentation of the program Inside Liberia. And of course, our SONA conversation and our SONA discussion continues. Yesterday, we couldn't go in depth because we have some power issues and some other issues, technical issues. But we are back and are back to talk about the issues that matter. Please join us live on Facebook. Those of you on Facebook, you can join us live on Kia Network, KENRNETWRK, Kia Network. You can join us on YouTube as well. We are glad to come to you every weekday from Monday to Friday with the program Inside Liberia. It is what it is. Our country will never fall. We will never ever forward ever, backward never. Yeah, we will talk about the issues and we will be very definite about some of the issues that we want to talk about. Yeah, we will continue to talk, but we will not resort. We will not go back to the bushes because Liberia can never retrogress. Yeah, those of you watching us on Facebook, please share the video as well. Leave your comments. Let's read them out for you. Tell us where you're watching us from. And I'm told our boss lady, our mother, Madam Josephine Kia, nobody watches on Facebook. It's good to recognize you, our mom. You are such an incredible person. And again, all of you that are watching us on Facebook, please share the video. Leave your comments and we will have them read out for you right here. It is another day. Today is the 29th day of the month of January. And the year is 2025. Yeah, we are here to talk about the issues that are very pertinent to the growth of Liberia. So my name is Maurice Desmond Brown. Of course, I am expected to have my colleague and co-host, Mr. Calvin Gray, will join me here later on. And we'll talk about the issues that really concerns Liberia. Yeah, the SONA conversation continues. We couldn't get our thoughts on some of the issues. We invited Councillor Finlay Wakanga to join us on yesterday. He consented. In fact, he was on his way when we had some issues and we had to send a message. Yeah, but he did well yesterday by just, agreeing to come along. But issues happened, uncertainty. We will try our best to bring it on. If not this week, next week, we'll try to gauge through his schedules and see if we can bring it on. But don't worry. I mean, aside from him, we'll bring other guests as well. I'm preparing a guest for tomorrow or Friday. The person will join us for something very different. And we will just go on to talk about all of the issues here. So it's you and I, and then Calvin will join us. Tell a friend to join us. If you're in District 1 and up to District 17 in Massarado County, join us now. If you're in Bombing, thank you for joining us. If you're in Magibi, thanks for joining us. If you're in any of the counties that are getting our signals very loud and clear, maybe you're watching on Facebook, just write a comment and let us know that you are following us through the internet. If you are getting us via your stereo set, maybe you are in your office, maybe you are at your job site, maybe your business center as well. Just tell us where you're watching us from. We will be glad to let the public know. Yeah, so just share the video. All of you, continue to share the video. Let others join as well. Let the comments continue to come in. We will read them out for you. Shortly, we'll go around the world and take bits and pieces of news for you. And that is what we're going to do today. Our people, some people call me and say, listen, when you're going around the world, we can really enjoy the news from around as well. Yeah, there are people who listen to the show for that segment, so we will not disappoint them. Let's see whether we can go around the world to take bits and pieces of news for you. Yeah, so we can do it. What is this thing doing? Let's see. Why are you doing this? Yeah, you shouldn't do this. You shouldn't. Yeah. Okay, then we can go right here. Let the comments keep coming. I've seen some people are watching as well. Just leave your comments right on our live stream. We will have them read up for you. Yeah, some people enjoy this segment as well. Where we go around the world, take bits and pieces of news they need to keep informed and keep glued to their radio, knowing exactly what is happening around the world. Let's go to the United States of America. We always begin from there. U.S. judge temporarily halted President Donald Trump's order to freeze hundreds of billions of dollars in federal grants and loans, minutes before it was set to come into effect on Tuesday. Trump is overdoing. Trump is overdoing. And Judge Lauren Aquilan ordered to pause the plan until next Monday at 1700. That is around 2200 GMT. It came in response to a lawsuit filed earlier in the day by a group of organizations representing grants recipients. The lawsuit claims the White House temporarily freezing of already approved funding violations. They violate the laws. In the hours before the order was due to take effect, there was a widespread confusion about which agency and programs will be impacted. The acting head of the White House Budget Office had instructed the agency to temporarily pause all activities related to obligations or disbursement of all federal financial assistance. He said the move was intended to give the administration time to assess the grant and loans were in step with their agenda. Sometimes these things happen. But let's go deeper. Speaking to reporters in the first early briefing, she said the pause is funding will allow government to cut back spending for work, gender issues, and diversity. But it prompted confusion as well as anger from opposition figures on Tuesday as those who receive federal loans and grants such and non-profit research organizations reckoned with the reality of swiftly losing funding. Let's go further. The White House directed, and the directive could have impacted billions of dollars meant for federal programs from disaster relief to cancer research. We hope that this will take effect. We are assessing the situation in the United States, and we are definitely going to give you some very, very key Let's go to Israel. Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu will meet U.S. President Donald Trump at the White House next week. While the meeting at the White House, that gives you some details. Netanyahu's office said the visit would take place on the 4th of February and that he was the first foreign leader to be invited to the White House during Trump's second term. A White House official confirmed there will be a meeting early next week, but said that the date and time had yet to be finished and finalized. According to the BBC US partners CBS News, speaking to reporters on Monday, Trump said Netanyahu will be traveling to Washington to meet him very soon without giving a specific date. We want to look at the specifics of the two leaders meeting, but I know it's just going to be geared towards the ending of the crisis in Gaza. The meeting comes as an initial 6-week ceasefire is being observed in Gaza after a deal was struck between Israel and Hamas to halt the war. I told you, if this could not change, I know it will be around security. Israel and the United States have had very, very strong bilateral relationship. Trump have already claimed credit for getting the ceasefire and hostages release deal over the line when it was first announced, saying on Truth Social the epic agreement was possibly only because he won November's presidential elections. The White House meeting will also come after Trump said last week that he wanted Egypt and Jordan to take in Palestine from Gaza, after describing the Strip as a demolition site. We hope these things be finalized. Let's look at a few more foreign news for you. Yeah, we will continue to do this. Let's go back to the United States of America. The BBC is reporting that Trump has offered millions of federal workers 8 months of pay to resign. President Trump has offered buyout package to almost all federal employees, a major move designed to shrink and reform the U.S. government. In an email sent on Tuesday, his administration told workers they had to decide by 6th of February whether they wanted to be a part of a deferred resignation program. If they agree by that date to quit, they can work on full payment until September, the message said. The Trump administration has expected up to 10% of employees to accept the offer, which equates to about 200,000 of the more than 2 million people who work for the federal government, according to the BBC US partner CBS News. Let's get you more. We are still looking at the news here. A senior official of Trump's administration told U.S. media that the board out could save the government up to $100 billion. The message from the U.S. Office of Personnel Management (OPM), the government HR agency, highlighted pioneer reforms, including a requirement that most employees work in their offices 5 days a week. Since returning to the White House last week, Trump has already declared the end of COVID era home working on practices. The OPM said the offer was available to all full-time federal employees. Donald J. Trump is for the U.S. Those in the U.S. Let's come to Africa. Let's take some news from Africa. Just a few of them from Africa. We can do that. Trying to get it. Trying to get the African news for you. Yeah, internet is a bit slow. I will need to reconfigure my phone. I'm doing that now. I'm reconfiguring right now. Shortly. The BBC is also reporting ECOWAS confirmed exit of alliance of Sahel states from the regional bloc. The UNTA-led West African nation of Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso formally withdrew from the ECOWAS on Wednesday. The move was the culmination of a year-long process during which the regional bloc tried to avert their departure. In a statement, ECOWAS said that if those are open, should any of the three countries decide to return. It asks members' nations to continue according them membership privileges, including free movement within the region with an ECOWAS passport. Yeah. They have finally exited. I don't know why these countries are just bent on exiting. Let's take one more from Africa, then we can come back to talk about the issues here in Liberia. Let's go to South Sudan and see what is happening there. At least 18 killed after a small plane crashes in a remote part of South Sudan. A small plane crashed in a remote part of South Sudan, killing at least 18 people on Wednesday, an official said. The flight chartered by Chinese oil firm Greater Pioneer Operation CO Incorporated had 21 people on board, including 2 pilots, said Gachit, the Minister of Information in the oil-rich United States, where the crash happened earlier on Wednesday. The plane crashed where it was taken off near an oil field to head to the international airport in Juba, South Sudanese capital, he said. Local media reported that the plane was carrying oil workers. The UN affiliated Radio Maria, citing the flight manifest, reported that the victims, including mostly South Sudanese, 1 Indian and 2 Chinese nationals. It wasn't immediately cleared what caused the crash, and authorities have not yet revealed the victims' identities. South Sudan, which gained independence from Sudan in 2011, is a major oil producer in the region. The East African nation has been trying to ramp up oil productions and export and persist cash flow issues for the government. Our hearts are with the people there, and we are very, 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 very sorry for the loss of lives from that plane crash. But again, let's come back to talk about the issues that are really, really pertinent to the growth of Liberia. We are very grateful to be here. And of course, Liberia matters to all of us. Liberia matters to all of us. And we can only do what we can do in order to letting our people know what is happening in Liberia. But firstly, we can only do all of these things to talk about the CARE Humanitarian Foundation. Of course, as you may be aware, the CARE Humanitarian Foundation is a non-for-profit organization that seeks to provide quality in the following areas: health, education, sanitation, and agriculture. Those are major areas that the CARE Humanitarian Foundation stretches its tentacles. And so we are glad that we can positively affect the lives of our people in Liberia, knowing how difficult it is for humanitarian services to be given, especially with our situation in Liberia. So Ruben Kane is following us from Ghana's. Thanks so much, Ruben. Hope you have shared the video to others so that they can join as well. So humanitarian services, and like I said to you the other day, humanitarian services is not just about war-ravaged countries. It's not about countries who squarely depends on maybe AIDS or other things. It's about the livelihood of the people, because there are people wanting humanitarian services in the areas of health, in the areas of education, in the areas of sanitation, and the rest of it. So it is not an issue of wanting to tell you, but the CARE Humanitarian Foundation has been able to provide services in education for our people. In terms of humanity, we've been able to serve humanity, and we continue to serve humanity. That is why our CEO and his team, our CEO and his wife, they're doing magnificent in making sure that we can give out to the most needed. That is why it is very important that every time we stress on the issue of education, we can make mention of the few that we've done, especially with the students we have now in school, where we are providing everything for them. We bought them book bags, we bought them shoes, we bought them everything, pay their school fees 100%. So we are just glad that we can be able to affect the lives of people positively. It is very important. So the CARE Humanitarian Foundation isn't stopping there. The entire team headed by the CEO and his wife in the United States, Mr. Andrew Kier, Mr. Monique Kishen, and the rest of the team members in the United States, they are not stopping there. We have decided this year that as part of our pilot project, we will be sponsoring 100 persons. 100 persons who have graduated from high school but do not know their way out in terms of getting to college. We will sponsor 100 of those people to take the UL entrance. What is our hold on now is the UL faculty or the UL administration will put out a notice that they are accepting students. Then we proceed to process these students through the banking sector, pay their money, and we make sure that they take the exam or the entrance. When that entrance is taken and you make a successful pass, wish you well, you enter university, it is an added advantage. And like I said yesterday while I was on the air before we had the problem, I said something and I repeat. And I want to be very repetitive about this. The little help we tend to give, that our CEO and his wife and his team are trying to mobilize in the United States. There is no sponsor for this organization currently. The only sponsors we have is our CEO and his family, and along with his friends. They are the ones pumping whatever resources that they have into what we're doing. Maybe some of you think it is government or whatsoever. This is a non-governmental organization. Yeah, if the government asks us to extend their hands to where they can reach, we'll be glad to do that. But for now, we do not have government sponsorship. We do not have other sponsorship that you may be thinking of. It is just single-handedly being handled by the kids. By the kids. They are the ones handling every financial aspect of sponsoring what is happening here. So when we announce this very, very momentous and very mouth-watering news, we expect that some of you will be happy and call and say, yes, I'm interested. My child has graduated from high school for more than 2-3 years. They haven't been in school. They haven't been to university. We'll be glad that you can help to see them taking the entrance to enter university. So that alone could also be an added advantage. It could be an added advantage because nobody wants to see children who are very smart and wanting to have their educational foundation being built will sit and see them sitting home. So, but when you give us the courage, when our people are given the courage to say, listen, we appreciate and we applaud the team in the United States for providing this opportunity. We are happy. It gave us the clue to push them further to do more. But if you on the grounds, you people who should be beneficiary of these initiatives are not taking it seriously, it gives us a very big problem. It gave us a very big problem. So we cannot adequately serve you because you have not shown us. You have not shown us the reason why we should continue. Because on a very serious note, I expect parents to be calling and saying, yes, I want my child to be a part of this. How can my child enroll? Even you yourself, some of you are listening to the radio now, you could call and say, yes, I mean, this opportunity is huge. I want to be a part of it. How can I be a part of it? People are not eager for education in Liberia. And that is the fact. In Liberia, if I would have announced on this radio that we are sharing bags of rice tomorrow, or we are sharing rice in January, the end of January, the start of February, people will be calling and be asking, when will the rice distribution start? When y'all start sharing the rice, or we're sharing or distributing money, people will do the same. But it is education. I don't see the eagerness. I don't see people being eager. I don't see people rushing for it. Education should be a gold rush. Why should education be a gold rush? It should be a gold rush because the best we can give ourselves, the best we can give our children is when we educate them. Listen, you can buy all of the expensive clothing. You can buy all of the expensive wearings or whatever, their shoes, whatever you can buy to make them look decent. If you do not make them look decent from the brain, they are not decent. People must be decent from the brain. The reason why some of us are seated here is because we managed to acquire the little education we have accumulated. So we want the CEO and his family are so particular. They are so much involved with this educational thing. They want to see Liberian children go back to school. Do you know what it takes for you to pay the entrance fee for 100 person? 100. I said 10. I said 20. I said 30. I said 40. I said 50. I said 60. I said 70. I even say 80, neither 90. I said 100. That is more than enough for you to appreciate. I don't see people being eager for this opportunity. And like I said before, you are listeners, those of you who participate on the show, you participate on the program during the CEO time, the CEOs on the radio, you are on within, you are listening and participating. Our shows are on, you are participating. If you have people that you want to help, maybe your children or your relative children or so, we will be glad to help that person. We'll be glad to help them. Why are we glad to help them? Because you are family to us. Aside from that, We are not doing this on a pick and choose basis. Those who are interested will tell us their importance and why they want to, so if they're running for this kind of opportunity, if they give us the clue to talk to our people up there to, now, if 100% is small, right? The only way we will get to know that 100% is small if when you start to call and you start to give reasons, and the people out there start to see that the calls are coming in, people are calling, they're asking for the program, and they're asking. The number of people that will see tripping in asking for the process to enroll their children alone will give them the clue to say, listen, we can continue to do this, but we want to do it on a bigger scale. We can't do it with 100. Maybe we can add the number to 150. But the first 100, people are not even appreciating it. How do we go further? So again, we encourage all of you. We encourage our people. It is for you. These people work for their money in the United States. They want to help people here. There is no extra help we're getting from anywhere. It is directly with our CEO and his family, his wife. They work for their money. They decide to help people here. So you must appreciate the little. 100%. Making them to take the entrance of the University of Liberia. It is more than enough that we can appreciate. My father is also watching, Mr. Moses Kesely of the National Commission on Higher Education, and that's why we're talking educational issue. I'm arranging ways that he can come to talk about education on our very prime show with the CEO. I will discuss with him. Maybe on Sunday, you could come to sit with the CEO to discuss educational issues, how we can educate our people, and what are the things that we should do to educate our people. So right after here, I'll be having that conversation with Mr. Kesely. It is a non-political show. The CEO show is non-political. We talk about all of the pillars that are granted within the Kia Humanitarian Foundation. That is, we talk health, we talk education. And in fact, he is, not just an educator. Mr. Moses Kesely staying in a very, very good. The old man is so versatile. The man is an educator. At the same time, he is a health practitioner. So we would have a conversation with him. Maybe he can appear on Sunday evening, just drive quietly to come here, and have a conversation with the CEO on. That would be a very great thing to do. Yeah, we'll have that conversation with him. Yeah, so let's continue to encourage our people. Education is the way you can give your children anything. You can get an education, no problem. Yeah, it is what it is. Let's go for a break. When we come back now, we'll start to rumble through the State of the Nation's address that was delivered on Monday. Sorry, we are just talking about it today because on Tuesday, yesterday, we may attempt to talk about it, but we had some technical issues, so we could not go in depth. At the end of the day, we had to leave the radio prematurely, but we are back today and we are back to talk. But our talking will be just few highlights. Then we will ask you, the public, what did you make of the speech from the president? There are few things, few things that the president spoke about that I want us to look at. This speech is long. There is a very deep things when it comes to the lengthiness of the speech. The speech is very long enough. We cannot tear that speech apart in terms of discussing them in a day. We'll take few key things to talk about, few key takeaways that you will be interested in. We'll talk about the bread and butter issues. We'll talk about the protocol of the program. We'll talk about different aspects of the program. And then before the president's speech, we'll talk about some of the things that he mentioned, some of the things he spoke about, some of the things that were true, some of them that weren't true at all. We'll talk about them as well. So yeah, it's a whole discussion, but you can make this discussion very interesting if you decide to give your input. So you are the prime guest. All of you listening to the radio, you are our guests, and we expect you to have your input on all of these things. Those of you watching, like my father, Moses Kesely, and Ruben Cannon, and other people, please share the video and please write your comments. Maybe you want to ask a question, you want to make some suggestions or whatever, just write them there. We will read them out for you. Let's take this. What is it? Amazing Care is our prime sponsor of the show. So let's take Amazing Care from there. And then out of this, let's go for commercial and be right back. Don't go away. Keep listening to Care Radio 95.9 from Care House on the UN Drive.
This is a home health agency. We send nurses and home health aides to patients' homes and take care of them, provide medical and non-medical services for them in their homes. So that's what we're doing. This is the office space where the high-end process is rendered.
Also the assisting admin at Amazing Care. I've been with this company since 2014 when we were making nothing. And we were literally in the basement of our apartment. This is how growth have brought us this far. 2-bedroom apartment, and we were literally using the basement and the garage space to carry on this business. And because of growth, we moved here on 2019, and we've been here since 2019 doing this. And God has been so faithful along the way, and we're still going strong. You can see this is the office of Amazing Care. We want to welcome the Care Network in here.
Are you looking for that special furniture or electronic appliance that give your home or office beauty? Now visit Cozy Home for the latest beds and decks, chairs and tables, or that special TV, air condition, or other electronic products for the best price in town. Cozy Home is on the 3rd Street Sinker opposite All Education Ministry with all that you're looking for. Call us on 0887-111-101 or visit us on the 3rd Street Sinker. Cozy Home, the best in town for furniture and electronics.
Hey my people, you're not hear about the Liberian owned business called Jessica Incorporated right on UN Drive in Clay Street?
Small. What kind of place business you talking about again, so?
I'm talking about our own Liberian business called Jessica Incorporated right down Clay Street before UN Drive intersection.
My man, tell me more about Jessica.
I say my people, Jessica specializes in entertainment and delicious food soup. Local food like kabogi and all. They get European and Western dishes with all kinds of special finger food, man. And they can do free delivery for their customers. Not all. Jessica get one nice and decent guest house fully air conditioned with unlimited Wi-Fi services. The people motor are valid for cheap, yeah, and they're home far away from home.
Hey Jessica, that place like my new spot now.
Call Jessica today on 0775-762-906. My Liberian people, let's promote our own Liberian business, Jessica Incorporated. It is the #1 stop center for your small operation.
Run now to Price Master to give that heat that will make it boil till it's really boiling.
Oh yes, Price Master is the solution to that boiling problem, bringing into Liberia high-quality American products for different needs.
At Price Master, we have life-saving drugs for that long-standing health complication. We are restoring life through the Price Master Drug Center on Camp Johnson Road for affordable prices or cost.
That's not all. Price Master has cosmetic, furniture, electronic, and other appliances for homes, schools, and offices. Price Master also got the baby's cover with nutritional food, water, toys, and many more.
Price Master is located at Camp Johnson Road and Perry Street intersection, or you can call us on 0886-552-304 or 0775-323-761, or better still, WhatsApp us on +231-770-390-441.
Price Master, the master for all American food, medicine, furniture, toys, cosmetics, detergent, and many more.
Yeah, welcome back, and it is good to welcome you, all of you, here at Kia Radio 95.9. And of course, we are right here on the UN Drive in Central Monrovia from the Kia House. Yeah, we are right here on the Kia, on the UN Drive in Kia House. It is important to be here. Well, the State of the Nations addressed, like I was telling you yesterday, I will go back to explain a few things to you. And few of those things are deeply rooted in fundamentals. You see, when a country starts to break her own laws, it gave that country a very tough time to reconsolidate. I know sometimes it's foolhardy to believe that Liberia is on the right trajectory. No. But there are few things, where we came from before we got where we are. Like I said yesterday, I disagree with the Rule of Law Caucus, as they call themselves. The Rule of Law Caucus is a conglomeration of lawmakers who believe that they cannot sit under the gavel of Majority Bloc Speaker Richard Nangbekun. They cited a few things, like I said yesterday. Some I agree with, some I do not agree with. One, they cited that Richard Kun cannot be the legitimate speaker because of the ruling from the Supreme Court. What did the ruling of the Supreme Court say? The ruling of the Supreme Court mandated the both sides to go back in-house and resolve the matter and to make sure that their leadership is well structured so that they will not have the reoccurrence of these things. That is what the ruling said. That is what, to the best of our knowledge, we're able to read the ruling and we understood the few things we were able to understand it. Yeah, the Supreme Court rule and some of the things they said in their ruling was a bit hard to understand because they could not come definitely to say from the laws before us or from what we have noticed, this is going outside the law. So their ruling was a bit confusing. So when they say that Richard Kun is not the legitimate speaker, it is only with the Supreme Court to determine who is the legitimate speaker. So that is why when this whole situation, this whole saga, and this whole legislative brouhaha started, we started to tell our people that, listen, the Supreme Court need not to be silent now. The Supreme Court must speak because their clarification of what they ruled could save the state of the embarrassment. We said this. All of you who listen to Care Radio, we have said this repeatedly, and that was our call. It was our favorite call so that the issue and those legal issues that were surrounding that case could be settled, the legal ramifications. What did we get? We got silent from the Supreme Court. The embattled speaker for Nati Kofa wrote and petitioned the court a bill of information far before the full bench of the Supreme Court. The state did not respond to the bill of information. They filed another lawsuit at the civil law court. The civil law court judge came on one of the local stations and said his life was being threatened, that he was advised to stay off the case. Yet still, he ruled that Richard Kun or whatever, he declined to issue the writ. A judgment of, I think, a writ of sanctuary or whatever they were praying for. He refused to issue that writ, so they have taken a flight to the Supreme Court again. Now, what am I giving all of these backgrounds. Some people believe that the reason why the Supreme Court, the justices of the Supreme Court did not attend the SONA is because they didn't want to legitimize the leadership of Kun. Some people believe so, but we'll tell you why the full bench of the Supreme Court did not attend. We'll tell you the reason. It's good to set the record straight. It's good to set the record straight. That is why assumption is accepted. People can assume, you can say and assume, yeah, it could be true that the full bench of the Supreme Court tend not to go to legitimize the speakership of Richard Kun or whatever. You can think that way. But if a case is still under legal scrutiny, the Supreme Court was saving herself. The Supreme Court was saving herself for further adjudication that will serve as a precedent case in the future, that they will not go and already say that and then come back to say another thing. But we'll get to that. Let's take it easy. Let's take it easy. So the president went to the SONA. The State of the Nation address is normally referred to as the SONA in Liberia. That's how we call it. The SONA is it is set by law. It is set by law that every president, on the first day of your presidency, as you take seat, you must tell the Liberian people what you will do as a president. So that first day you will take office, it is important to tell the Liberian people your platform, those things that you have in stock, to tell the Liberian people in the next 1 year, this is what I'm going to do, this is what I'm going to do, this is what I'm going to do. The reforms you're bringing to government. So when President Joseph Newman Bwaka took the oath of office in January 22nd, 2024, he made it very clear that there are some things he would have done. So it was about the accessibility, to assess whether the president was able to achieve those things that he outlined in the first year. And then the president will also set the agenda for the ensuing year. That is the year under review. That is the year that he's already in. So the president went on to make some promises. He made some promises in the first year when he served as president. The very day he served as president, though the speech ended prematurely because of his stress or whatever it was, the president had to exit the stage. Again, we saw similar thing happening during the SONA. Almost similar thing happening during the SONA. Not many people observed that, but if you look at the video very well, the speech was too lengthy for the president. And that is why we need to let the people who are handling the president to understand few things. The people who are handling the president should understand few things, and that is factual. If they do not understand these things, they will continue to embarrass the president in the public. When President Weah was president, we said some of the same thing, that there were people around the president who were there bent on embarrassing the president. This government is in power, and all we see again is we are seeing a facet of people near the president who are bent on destroying the high-end reputation of the presidency. The presidency is a sacred position. When people are in those positions, you do not bring them to public ridicule, you do not bring them to public disgrace. But the president could not do anything when the office that he sits and supervise start to make the first blunder. That first blunder is the president appoint people go ahead to remove those people named from on the listing of the appointment. That is an embarrassment. Did the president take stand? No, the president didn't take stand. So these things follow him all the way until he have reached a stage that it is notable. It is something that is being seen clearly by the ordinary Liberians. Go on Kia Network platform and hear Liberians responding to the SONA. Our team of reporters, our news department, our news and current affairs department walk to markets. They interview Liberians. Listen to some of the things they are saying. It tells me something. What it tells me is that the Liberian population are growing to the extent that they understand the politics of the day. They understand what is happening in the executive. They understand what is happening at the legislature. They understand what is happening at the judiciary. And kudos to all journalists in this country. It is because of your work. It is because of your tireless efforts in making sure that the people of Liberia get first-hand information that is creating the situation where the people can talk freely about their governance system. They can critique the government. They can commend the government if the government is commendable. They can debunk the government if the government is debunkable. So again, it is not about how the presidency is going. It is about how it started. How the president will appoint people and people go to remove the name of the people the president appoint, and you put your own people name there. It started to happen, but did the president take action? No. The president did not take action. Why? Because the president probably was running the government on friendship. Now he has reached a stage where the president is being embarrassed. But only some of us will know this and will flag this out because we want the president to succeed. We want the Unity Party government to succeed. Why do some of us want every government to succeed? We want the government to succeed because if the government succeeds, the Liberian people will succeed. It is the government that works for the people. So if the government fails, the Liberian people will not reap anything. So no citizen in this country should pray for any government to fail. That is why when the CDC was in power, we told the United Party folks, do not wish this government to fail. If the government fails, Liberian people fail. That means Liberia did not achieve anything. So do not pray for the CDC to fail. Pray for the CDC to succeed so that the country can succeed. The same thing we're telling our folks today. Do not pray for the United Party to fail. You should be praying for the United Party to succeed because if the United Party succeeds, Liberia will flourish. I know it's difficult, right? It is somehow not sounding too good in the ears of people who want the government to fail. But no citizen in this country. That is why I want you to take cue from the Ghanaians. I want you to take cue from the Nigerians. When their elections are over, they set aside politics and work with the government to making sure that our country move on the right path. When that government time finish, it finished. The next government coming to power, that is it. But they support their government. What do Liberians do? We wish for governments to fail. Let the government fail. When the government fail, it will be a good thing. But the government fail, it doesn't give you any dividend as a person. What it does is that it keeps you stagnated and keep you in poverty. Nobody should pray for a government to fail. So, as you are in opposition now, do not pray for the United Party to fail. I can say this to you with all fairness. We should be praying for the government. If the government fails, Liberia, that means 6 years we've not made progress. That is why our country, every year, this is the only country you travel from and go to the United States, you spend 30 years, 40 years, you come back, you will not miss your horse road. You will go straight there. Why? Because there is no new development in the year that will show the changes that would occur in that environment. No. Every year you come, you see the place, the scene. So you spend 30 years in America, you come. All of you in America that spent 30 years, 35 years, 40 years, the all you are living in before, you go straight there. You will not miss the place because Liberians are here wishing governments to fail. They're here wishing governments to fail. I mean, that is a whole topic we can talk about. But the government and the president start to see these errors, small errors, and they were looking. I cannot be president of Liberia. I appoint people. Then somebody in my office, whether press secretary or minister of state or whosoever, whatever position or portfolio you have, you change the list, you are gone. you can be in my office. That means you can take gun and bring it to my head and shoot me. It is treasonous. Hope people understand these things. As any lawyer, for the president to appoint and you change the list of the president to bring in people that the president hasn't approved, is treasonous. It's a treasonous crime. What do we do in Liberia? We let it go free. That is what the president left doing until today. They prepare a long speech for the president, knowing his age. Listen, folks, we'll get to the real issues I want to discuss. But these issues are important for us to talk about. Not many people, not many journalists will talk about these small, overpassing issues. And I am one person who look at all of the intricacies. I look at all of these small things and join them together to talk about. So if they started to embarrass the president, the handlers of the president must understand that the president is not young. It's not a youngish president we have. What we have as a president, the person we have as a president is an old man. And that is reality. It must not be misconstrued. Nobody prays to get old. Nobody. But once you are living, you must age and you must reach that stage to get old. So our president is not a young person as compared to our previous president who could stay 4 hours, 5 hours without shaking, because knowing fully well where he came from, he's an athlete. And that is the mistake the handlers of the president currently. The people who handling the president needs to know this. These things. The president is not young, and anything you do might embarrass the president if you're not careful. I thought we would have learned from the error we made, or the mistakes we made at the first State of the Nation's address. I thought we would have learned from it, but no, we didn't. In fact, it's because of the presidency that you see the president look younger than what he is. But the president is an old president. He's an old man. He's not a youngish person. It's not part of the young people. No. Even President Weah was not a young man, but he was not old. Secondly, he came from the playing pitch where they play for 90 minutes, be running all around the field. He's an athlete. You can compare that kind of man with an old man who is in his 80s. It's not possible. You can't do that. And then we have to be in his 60s. Take sisters from some of the 80s, right? And see you have 20 plus or 20 years in between. That is a whole number for a grown-up adult in Liberia. That is the number between the old man age and that of the young man who was president a few years back. So you cannot compare the two. And the handlers of the president believe that they must make the president look like the CDC under president. The president we are then. It's not possible. It's not possible. The two people do not have the same strength. They are not of the same age. So you wrote a long speech that kept the president standing for no SONA, nothing in the Constitution say the president must stand for 5 hours to deliver or 2 hours to deliver, and did not specify a timing. The only time that is stipulated there is that the president start his SONA at 4. Whether he air 4:30, he air 5 o'clock, the issues that should be addressed now. But what did the handlers of the president do? They wrote a very voluminous speech. A speech that was voluminous enough, very lengthy, that could take the president almost 2 hours to deliver. That could take the president almost 2 hours to deliver. Was that a good thing? Listen, the president could test border points, and the remaining aspect of the speech be posted online. And the people responsible for communication come to deliver or talk about those other aspects of the president's speech. It's not mandatory that the president stay for 2 hours to deliver a particular speech or a SONA. No, it is not. But in Liberia, we believe that the president should stay for 2-3 hours to deliver a speech, and that's not it. It's about the issues at hand. The president could touch bases with few things in 30, 40, 45 minutes or an hour, and he is done. The rest of the other one can be posted online. Just the important things that should be touched. All the other details could be online. So you carry the president, giving a long speech, and with all of the long issues, the key issues that should be addressed were not addressed. But you made a speech long. You made a speech long. You made a speech long. That is not my point. That is not my problem. At certain point in time of the speech, of the president's speech, you could see that the president was getting weary. He was getting tired. You could see that the security people around the president started to talk to him. They started to give the president more water to drink because the president was getting weary and tired because he could not stand for that long. And that is the reality. People in the Unity Party need to understand these things. It's not about politics. Nobody pray to get old. Myself here, if you ask me, I won't be young like this. I won't be young like they be passing, still be working, you know. But there will be time that will come, I will not be able to work. That one are the fact. There will be times in my life as a person, I will not be able to work because of my age. Today we have a president. That president can walk, he can talk, he can do other things. It's very good. It's a good thing. But do not overdo. It is not mandatory that the president stay for 2-3 hours. So next time you're preparing a speech for the president, prepare a speech that will cause him to stand for the time he can stand for. And even if it calls for the legislature to also amend whether the rules or the whatever it is, to make the president to sit down because of his age, they have to do that. It's not about standing. So what about the standing? Will the standing give food to Liberian people to eat? No. Will the sitting of the president provide all the things that we need? No. So standing and sitting is not anything, but if we can find a way that the president can sit down and deliver that speech, it's not a bad thing. You have a president that should be probably a septuagenarian. And if you may, the president is old. So you can prepare a speech that will keep the man on his feet, that he will start to get weary, and at the end of the day, he has to exit the stage in a way and in a manner that he shouldn't. The president's gesticulation is very important. The president's posture in the public is important. You know, you are not looking at all of that. You're not looking at the meat, the bread and butter, the other thing, the bread and butter issue, the snacks and chicken and the meat and the other thing. Not that what you're looking at. But you're not looking at the embarrassment because there were dignitaries there. The president was tired. Let me be honest with you. I watched the SONA. The president was tired. The speech was lengthy. Next time, do bullet points for the president. That is one. Number two, I'm talking to the legislature. Is there any way to amend the rules to allow the president to sit down because of his age, to sit down and deliver the speech for the Liberian people? If he can sit and deliver the 2 hours or 3 hour speech he will write, that is good. The Liberian people want to hear from the president. I think I'm making this, it may sound very strange. Not many journalists will talk about this, but I think I'm making sense. If I'm not making sense, tell me, Desmond, you're not making sense. I will understand it, but I think I'm making a lot of sense here. If it is any rule that keep playing in for the president to remain standing and deliver the State of the Nation address, let's amend that rule. Because the people can say, such a time, such a condition. For those of you watching, please, you can put forth your comments on our live stream. We'll read them out for you. Suggestions, questions, whatever it is, put them there. We will have them read for you right here. Such a time, such a condition. The president we have is not a young age president. I continue to say this. We have a president who is aging, and we must take the situation as it is. The handlers of the president need not to be treating him like a young boy. He's not. He's a father. And I'm here wondering why is it that people will want to make the president look as if he can stand for more than 3 hours or so. The president can do it because of his age. We all, nobody pray for age, but we all will reach to that place where we get old and will not do certain things. You cannot tell the president now to go and exercise to go jog. The president will not jog, but you and I, we can jog. We can run around. The president will not go jog because of his age. He can do leg walk and other things, but he will not jog. Even if you will jog, he will not jog to certain mile, to certain distance. That is what old age does. It keeps you confined to certain things. And when we reach that stage, as Liberians, we will understand if there is a way to amend the rules to not to keep our president standing for long, we have to amend the rules. It's not about political party interest anymore. It is about the country. Let's reach a stage where we can amend the rules and say, listen, for the sake of the president we have now, we are amending the rules. The president will have to sit down and deliver his speech. Simple. It doesn't take anything away from the legislature. It doesn't take anything. Now, let's go to the meat of the issue. People wrote a speech for the president, and they said some things there. I'll give you the time, you, the public, to assess and talk about some of the issues that we're talking about. We're not talking about the SONA, how it was handled. Now, in the speech, the president anticipated, if you read that speech verbatim, the president anticipated that there would have been the appearance or the presence of the justices of the Supreme Court. They did not go in my mind. And it could be for 2 reasons. I'm going to say it here. One is because of legal reason. And one legal reason is that when the lower court judge ruled, he ruled 2 days before the SONA. He ruled on the weekend. So, and he ruled the people there who, the 2 parties, one party said they were taking an appeal to the Supreme Court. Knowing that that case will come before the full bench of the Supreme Court, they didn't want to be seen as getting involved with, because the case is unsettled as it is. So they could not go to sit under the gavel of Representative Rachel Kuhn or Speaker Rachel Kuhn because they have a pending case. The people do not work the way you and myself see it. The next reason could be that their ruling was clear that Rachel Kuhn would not be or could not be the legitimate speaker. So because of that, they didn't want to go to legitimate as a speakership. It could also be. But in my mind, I think the main reason is because this case is under judicial review. And because it's under judicial review, they do not want to go and sit there and come out with another ruling that will make case, complicated. Because the case is, will be taken up to them. They will have to look at it. Because the appeal, the other party took an appeal and said they will go to the Supreme Court for a declarative judgment. So why if the Supreme Court, in her opinion, see that the declarative judgment is important and they have it, at the end of the day, it reflects on them that they sat under this man, Cavill, while the case was still under judicial review. That is what they don't want. I could be wrong. I may be right as well. And you that are insinuating that is because they didn't want, but this is the first of its kind that I see all the justices of the Supreme Court absent at the State of the Nation's address. This is troubling for our country. And I don't know for what reason, but in my mind, I've given you the reason. My reason could not be factual enough 100% because the justices of the Supreme Court, they have not told the public why they did not attend. I know Sianen Yo, the Chief Justice, is out of the country for an international engagement, but other four could be there. There are 5 people who get on that bench. All 5 of them were absent. All 5 of them. So all of them went for the international engagement too? No. There is a problem why they did not attend. And it is my duty. Initially, I'm telling you that could be a reason. The thing I just told you, or the 2 reasons I gave you, there could be reasons why. But we dig further, we investigate why they did not attend. Now, the next thing is, if they did not attend because of the legitimacy, they didn't want to legitimize the speakership of Rachel Kuhn, then why did they send their budget officer to listen and to defend their budget under the illegitimate speaker? That is my point. If they didn't want to legitimize, if that was the reason, because I don't know whether it was, but if that was the reason, then they do not have a reason. They all should reject the budget that were allocated to them to show that the budget was illegally passed because it was not passed under the gavel of the legitimate speaker. So they cannot use that budget. So they should be priests of the land. They should be the legal priest of the land. So when they're making decisions, they should look at all sides of the decision. The other say, because of the illegitimacy of the current speaker, we will not execute the budget because it was passed fictitiously and it was passed under dubious means, or it was not under the legal aspect that we expect. So we will not execute the budget. So let them take the budget, the money back. We will not use it. Then we know that they are taking it as it is. Now, the president spoke about a few things, and I want to just look at them quickly before we open the lines for you. You are the prime guest, all of you. I am very sure Calvin may not join us today because up to now it's 17 past 5 and it's yet to come. So the president made mention of something I'm going to look at very quickly. Very quickly. The president made mention of the rule of law. Let's look at the rule of law. What did the president say? So the president said, I assure you that the security of the state will be preserved. Will be preserved. On the rule of law, the president did not perform. Let me be honest with you on this. This is not something I'm going to mutter my voice on. On the rule of law, the president did not perform under the period under review. There were killings of citizens by security officers. These cases are still yet to be adjudicated. The situation in Conway where police officers along with LEC people beat on the man until they killed him in Conway. The shooting incident in Kinjo. Several things happened and the president still talk about the rule of law and talk about security. Security issue, everybody in this country knows that security issue is not working. The police are only deployed in the streets in the day. In the night, you don't see them. It is not the security fault. Let me be honest with you. It is the fault of the legislature and the president. Why? The legislature should be able to allocate resources that will see the police officers be very vivid in communities at night. People are walking. There is now a body at the Simple Bridge that is hairless. It do not have a head. The hair was cut off, only the body you can see. You can't even identify that kind of person. Security is crucial. I'm not saying when security start to do all of the patrol in the night, there will not be killings and other things of people. Yeah, there will be, but it will be minimized. So if you do not allocate the needed resources for the team of security officers to do their normal patrol in the night, they will not work. So The legislature does the allocation. They go to say, okay, the security sector, it is the executive. The executive just do the budget in bulk, Senate, and the legislature appropriate them. You give small money to police and expect for the police to do the bigger job. It's not possible. So the rule of law can only come into full effect if the government decide to spend on security. Because the security, you see that only in a day, all of them will be packing between Vata and Douala, Vamuma, a few places. The rest in the night, don't get in the street because you will risk your life. Your life is not secure at night. I tell you for free. You get in the street in the night, you could be harmed. Because the police, most of them do not patrol in the night. And the reasons they're giving you is legit. That they do not have what it takes to patrol in the night. No fuel for the pickups. We're hearing of a situation in Lofa County. They say the police commander there got to carry a car up the hill and they push it way down with speed before it can start. A whole police superintendent or police commander for a county should be using push and start car when the legislature allocate to themselves 45,000 each to get a new car. In 6 years. Every 3 years, they get a new car for themselves. Every 3 years. So in 6 years, the lawmaker or the representative get how many cars? 2 cars. But the man who takes care of security and mind the Lapen people, what do that man get? He get nothing but a push. Got to push the car up the hill and roll down before it starts. So security must not be a lip service. It should not just be talk through the lips. We'll do there, we'll do. It should be done and we can see it. So security, the rule of law, forget it. The rule of law, the president did not perform. And I'm being honest with you on this. The president keep the power and start to remove people from tenure position. That is a rule of law matter. It is a matter tied in with the rule of law. If the tenure position or the statute or that place says that the person is supposed to be there for 3 years or 5 years, and you come to power, the person take out 3 years tenure or 3 years at that entity, leave them there. Instead, the president was sweeping and whipping because his legal advisor, Buju Benkeita, told him that, hey, listen, don't get time for them, just remove people. That was a rule of law matter. So the president cannot boast of the rule of law being kept at the tip of the iceberg of his administration. No, he can't. So because of that, rule of law, no. Let's move on. The president said something as it relates to the very important issue. And this is what he said. The price of 25 kg rice, Bible rice, has been reduced to 2,000. I bet anybody in this country to tell me that rice, 25 kg bag of rice, they have bought that rice since 2024. Up to date, they have bought half bag of rice for 2,000 US, Liberian dollars. I want anybody to tell me this. In fact, the rice was $13.50 during the regime of former President Weah. When the United Party government came to power, after a few months, the rice price astronomically increased to around 20-something US. Around 18. It went 18. From there it went to 19. So if the government is telling us, the people who wrote this thing for the president did not do justice to the president because the least thing to play with in this country is rice. Everybody in this country eat rice. Like in my house, if I buy half bag of rice in my house, we are like 5 in the house, right? I have a family size of 5. We eat that bag of rice for 3 weeks. Imagine 5 persons we eat rice in the house for how many? 3 weeks the rest finish. When that rice supposed to carry 4 weeks, if we're changing our diet. If we're just eating rice today, eating cassava and planting the next day, changing, or eating, swallowing fufu, or doing something, but we eat rice from Sunday to Sunday. So everybody know about rice. I brought that in to tell you that everybody know about rice. So for you to grossly say that rice price was reduced to 2,000, like Brenda, that was a miss. That was a lie that should not be in the ears of the public. But again, the president did not read the speech. I'm being honest with you. The president did not read the speech. This speech was written by the people around the president. Again, I started off by saying they are continuously embarrassing the president. And it should stop now. The price of 25 kg rice have never been reduced to that amount. Now, rice is one of the staple food, or it is the staple food in Liberia. And not much is being done in the agriculture sector. We need to say these things. We need to say these things. I know 1 year is insufficient for the government to do a lot. Yes, the government is doing some things. The government is trying with some infrastructural development. They are doing some small rules. Yeah, they are doing some things, and we need to commend them on this. This can go unnoticed. We need to commend them on this. The government is trying. Right now, in District 17, I'm told the government is thinking of paving. They've already started road works. They've broken down all of the makeshift structures along that VOA road from VOA Junction straight inside VOA to the same. They have started to break down structures. They're grading the road. They're doing other things. I'm told. I need to find out from the folks there at the Ministry of Public Works whether they're paving it with asphalt pavement, or maybe they're putting cement or quota or whatever it is, whether they're putting it there or they're just creating it to make it look good. We also need to know that. So, and when it comes to infrastructure development, when the government came to power, they took $22 million for the Southeast to pave roads across the country. That money did not see the significant work that's supposed to be done being done on the roads. At the end of the day, when we got into the rainy season, cars were stuck. They could not even move. But yet the government is doing some major intervention. If you look at the road now between Fata to around Freeport going towards Bujo Alley, they are doing very well with those roads. And there are a few other things that the government is doing, but there are a few things that the government is not just into. Agriculture is a lip service. The government just talking about agriculture. The real thing that boosts agriculture, the government is not getting involved with it. Health. The government talk about health. The CDC administration built the hospital in Bapul. Up to date, that hospital is not functional. The few equipment that the CDC administration had to put there is what is there currently. That side of that place, that hospital will be a bigger referral place for a lot of people. Is the government focused on that? No. The little the government can do in health, the government is doing it. I will not say the government have done nothing in health. If you sit as a critic of the government and say the whole 1 year, the government do anything, like the CDC responded by saying the president's speech was marked with deception and lies. Yeah, there are some true things that were in the president's speech, but yeah, every president will write, and some of the things that people write, the president will not look at. The CDC administration doing the CDC time, the people too wrote, and they gave to the president some of the things, not everything president we are saying was true. And that we need to say to the Liberian people, they need to know this. So, yeah, but it should not continue, not because the CDC administration wrote things and gave it to the president came and told some of the things were not true, and then this administration will wind up in the same thing. So sometimes it's important to know all of this. So yeah, health, the government, if you look at the government in session from 2024 up to January 2025, the government, you cannot say they did not do any intervention in the health sector. They did some intervention. Is it enough to match with the first year? No, it is not enough. The educational sector, yes, they made some intervention. There are few things that the government said they did, and which is true. Because we are not able to read the entire speech. We just took few things to talk about. Tomorrow, when we get guests, or on Friday, we'll talk about those things as well. We'll talk about some of the things that we see in the president's speech that we think are not real. Some of the things he said, they are real. And for sure, some of those things are real. Now, the next thing the president said that I want to point out that isn't real at all is that the president, during the first State of the Nation address, said his government will do what? Train 10,000 young people into cyber internet, or the cyber management or something. Cyber security management. Did the government train 10,000? The government said every county was affected. That is, every county got a representation, or whatsoever. The whole 10,000, they were able to send it. What is it here? So the president said they were able to train. Let me look for that portion and read that quickly. So, on telecommunication and digital transformation, the president said, I'm pleased to announce that we have trained over 10,000 young people across all 15 counties and empowered 50 teams with seed funding to start digital businesses. This is not true. This is not true. 10,000 persons all across the 15 counties is not true. In fact, we are getting reports that some of the people who were trainers, for the few people who enrolled at that program, are even complaining that they were not treated fairly. Their stipends and other things that should be given are still being owed by the government. We do not see the graduates. We do not see these people and the cities and whatever 50 team that you have set up, Mr. President. We do not see some of these things. The government can do better if the government tread on a different path, not walking in the shadows of the CDC. Because some of the things I see them doing, they are almost like wanting to walk in the shadows of the CDC on some other issues. When it came to infrastructural development, the CDC did very well. I'll be honest with you on this. When it came to the rule of law, the CDC did very well. And I'll be honest with you on this. In the CDC first year, where there were protests and other things, people protesting, the CDC were distributing food. What did we see under the Union Party? They are clamping down on protesters. People protesting, they are running into them. They are using tear gas and other things, some force, to disperse crowd and other things. These things are wrong. The United Party cannot boast about rule of law than the CDC. It is not about comparing the two governments, but the truth be told, the United Party on the issue of rule of law, they failed. They really failed like when put in the first year. The CDC made mark. I'll be honest with you. The CDC would, in their first year, what did they see? In 2019, there was a protest, a very, very well organized protest that Liberians turned out in their numbers. The June 7 protest. In June, that was just from January, February, March, April, May, June, the following year, June, just in their 1 year. What did they see? They saw protests that saw mammoth of people gathering. What did the CDC do? The CDC used the police to distribute food. The rule of law, we're not saying the United Party should follow in the same steps, but give people the chance to protest. The last time I saw any protest at the Capitol building, it turned very bloody. The last time I saw protests, it was very bloody. To date, there are people in prison now for that protest. So, folks, there are other things the United Party doing that are very commendable. Like I told you, the rules that they're fixing. They're doing some other interventions in the educational sector. Yes, I see they're doing some. I saw the Ministry of Education distributing very high quality chairs to public schools. That is commendable. These things, when we see them, we'll commend the government. If the government is not doing it, we'll see the government not doing it. That we can be very clear and succinct about it. So let's take a few calls. It is your turn to talk. Let's activate the numbers for you. If you are listening to us via the radio, you want to be a part of the program now, you can call us up on the following numbers. 0770 573 477. Again, 0770 573 477. 0881 871 670. Let's listen to you as we discuss some of the issues coming up from the President SONA. We have our very first caller on the line. Let's hear you.
God bless you this evening. I wish you, thank you very much for your expertise.
Mm-hmm.
You are feeling very well for America. But the movie law that you're talking about, the CDC, it was catastrophic.
Mm-hmm.
The rule of CDC, it was catastrophic. Everybody had people behind you on the street. This is illegal.
Mm-hmm.
You're saying, that there are people who have people behind you on the street. These people, if you're not, what have I done? The people you're saying was yes, and you error. You could get into that in the night of work in the night. You never in the night of something in that activity hours at time. I was here as a pastor. The rule and what was breaking also this time of course. Everywhere you go, people also go because you try to agree that everything that amen. Was the rest of the amen, not the amen, you will be wrong. You know what you're talking about? We're going to forget. We're going to forget. You want to see things that we have done. Forget it. You will not go on the street. What do you on the street? I was here as a pastor. I'm a pastor. I'm a teacher. I'm still a great team. Can you say that? Come on. You went to what? You went to act like you wanted and I didn't want that. My brother, all people, you want to say it was that we are wrong. It was.
So, Remy, let me ask you a question. You talk about the court the case at the ECOWAS court. Now the United Party is in power. The CDC did not do it. Can the United Party do what the ECOWAS court said? Governments continue with it.
Let the Party do their own. Let it do well. We don't want to be transparent. They should not allow CDC process. I want to do what to proceed. I want to battle to proceed.
Like I said, no government, nobody, no political party, no human being, no citizen of this country should pray for any government to fail. I said that. If you listen to the show from the beginning, you will know that.
No. I heard that. I said you're transparent. You're transparent. You're conversation. You're transparent. You're balanced. But the UN CDC, and what's catastrophic.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Reverend. Thanks for your views, and that is what you are entitled to. So I cannot censor your view on the issues. Let's take more of your calls. 0770 573 477. Again, we'll go back to the line. Let's see this person. Good evening.
Mm-hmm.
Good evening. Let's hear you.
Morris,
You are Morris who? Let's hear you, Chief.
I follow your discussion, your service are very unique. The balance is an escape to the other technology. It is good. We, the Western nation, should be, always prepared to keep our government or condemn our government that any action. I can say that Liberia is bad economic. The white was still on because they are their government. Because there was even wars you are taking from the CDC, if you are not a Euclid housing, sometimes you feel frustrated because anytime you critique government, government or enemy of enemy of the state. That was a very serious target against the Liberian people. And the worker proceeding in 2 years, if you go, if you have two government in your own, okay, then you should at least come for the family. Military dependent, we get two of the highest expect two going to carry in 2 days. And what the brother is basically on this administration. Because no city letter. I mean, you general are you why our president, former president, don't get let it on the TJ, the government or to the brother. Who are going to carry? Who were at the airport to examine how many luggages people in play and carry, which were 11 years out. They're not going to sleep there. You know how much bag of money was put on our plane? Well, it was not put on our plane. How many people was there to go? This company is looted. This company is looted. And this brother is continuing trying that. And the grace of God will rescue this one to take it.
Thank you so much. That is what we expect. Everybody got their views, and you are also entitled to your view. Call us up on the following numbers, and you can air your views right as we look at some of the critical issues. 0770-573-477, 0770-573-477, 871-670 are the numbers you can dial right now. Tell us your impression of the President SONA. Several things we talk about, and I even mentioned that if there is a rule, maybe it is a law, whatever it is, let it be amended, that our president can be able to sit down to address the country in terms of his SONA, because we almost experienced similar thing that happened on the first State of the Nation address. The president's speech was long enough, and the president could not stand for the time that the speech would have been read for, and that was a problem. So again, we need to do what we ought to do and do it in time and be able to do it in a way that it will not embarrass the presidency. So that is what we're talking. We're talking about some of the issues that the president met, some of the interventions he made, and some of the things he has been able to do as a president. Join us. Let's talk about those issues right here. 0770-573-477, 881-871-670. And the handlers of the president, those who are handling the affairs of the president, needs to know that the president is not a young man. He's an old man, and that respect of being an old man should be given to him. And that is why we should not do anything that will embarrass him in the public. That is something, this is void of political party persuasion, whether you are part of the opposition or you are a member of a no position, whatever position you find yourself. Let's continue to respect the presidency. And that is what we will continue to preach, because our country must see the other people countries the way they take care of their president, the way they do their president. Look at the United States. Look at other countries. Yeah, so that is something we must take very seriously. 0770-573-477, 0770-573-477, 881-871-670 are the numbers you can call to be a part of the program now. On Care Radio 95.9 from Care House here in Central Monrovia on the UN Drive. We are here. Shortly, we'll be taking our leave. The news team will be in anytime soon to prepare for a full bulletin of news that you can use. And of course, the only factor news you can check is Care Radio News at 6. Let's go back to the line and take this person. Good evening. Good evening.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Yeah, good evening. How are you?
Yeah, I was listening to that. My name is I'm listening to you speaking. Firstly, I want to the point of giving a place when it was taking a speech because they teach. Now, some of the new campaign that the president is not involved. So, the head of the country. But because the people wanted to ensure the truth or the word of God become certain, push into it. So they are caught up with it. You are making reference to a and you are very close to that you have to return on the Friday when you contest for whenever you go instead of this, you will stand. So this is one of the important transition. So the president
tradition are not laws. Tradition are not laws. I'm saying if it is just a tradition, it should be amended. The tradition should be amended for the sake of the president because we know he's old. That's why I was telling the people who handling the affairs of the president to know that the president is old and they must treat him as such.
So now, you consider the people of the president and you blame people that wrote this of the president. What can you do about it? People if you telling me that do that speech, we're all really to tell you. When it's true that the opposition that this president is not because if this president is charged, it means that there's a speech to waiting for it to the rules, the lecture, that is a tricky point not to come to the place. But if this president to tell that that better waiting for $2,000 is the end of the day, the reality is also for me. So the people shooting up there and if we take one, we will get to 100 we go outside and you want to care of it from the past receiving. But at the end of the day, the foreign man that is so from the cleaning and English project that is implemented by the part of the power through the kings of power of the kings of power of the high level of the legislature and then the now the mentality of the vast majority of the
Thank you. Okay. Thank you so much. We are barely out of time, but we can take one more call before we transition for the news. The news will be up at 6 o'clock. So you know normally we have to do some other things before the news come up, but we can take one more call if you're there and you want to participate like others are doing. 0770-573-477. This caller is right on my back. Let me take you. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening. Take a minute quickly. Okay, take 1 minute quickly. We don't have time.
Yeah, the problem out there, you see, in Lagoa, always the everything they got, they put a table. Someone around the thing and give it to the president. One of the president said 100 years I have to address the nation. We will not solve our problem. You getting what I'm saying?
Oh yes.
Some of the protesters I see the American people when they are getting their president, getting their other message, spend too much of time on it. Why is it ever like you know, you see the point that you do the home and the summer and as for me, I don't support basketball. You have to be real in the point that this year. These people should start misleading the old man. The old man is going, he has that energy to step up 2 to 3 hours. And what we are saying, so I leave it everybody to summarize the whole thing and making sure 2 or 3 shoes which are different for the old man. So thank you.
Thank you so much for being a part of it. Folks, if there is a caller, I could take that person quickly before we transition to the news. The news will be at 6 o'clock, so we are definitely transitioning to the news very shortly. 0770-573-477, 0881-871-670 are the numbers you can call quickly, and I can take the very last person to hit the phone now. I can take you, and we can call it a presentation. If nothing and no one is there, we can now go for a break to be back on tomorrow. Hope tomorrow you will join us as usual so that we can talk about our country, Liberia. My name is Maurice Desmond Brown. Of course, Calvin Gray didn't come today because of one or two reasons. Tomorrow he might be here and we all can talk about the issues. Please share the video so others can join the broadcast, so others can watch what we said and what we did here. Until then, I love you. That keep the peace of our country. I'm out of here, but trust me,